Yo, welcome to the channel, it's your boy Skater V. On today's video, we're doing a review on Square's remaster of their PSP classic Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. Alright, now this is going to be a tough review because I've always wanted to play the title, but I was honestly disappointed, so let's go. You'll play as the super charismatic hero Zack Fair, who's a part of this military group called Soldier, and is being mentored by his friend, Angeal. A bunch of drama unfolds as a member has gone missing, but we'll get back to that later. Because the main thing that's stopping you are these combat scenarios that hit you every 5 seconds. Now while you can change the button layout, you're mainly going to be smashing square to attack and X to dodge, and then using the shoulder buttons along with a layout that you use for your magic powers to go and take out enemies in certain positions or perform some super attacks. Now, while there's a bunch of missions that you can do on the side that are just extensions of these combat scenarios, the main campaign is very linear and you're only going to be fighting maybe once or twice before going into a 1 to 3 minute cutscene, really breaking the pace of the game. And if it wasn't because of the drawl of the overall story and these characters, it would be really hard to pay attention if you were just focusing on leveling up your character and hopping in and out of the story, which is basically an extended version of the flashbacks that you saw from the original game back in the PlayStation 1. But this time you get to actually play as Zack and have a little bit more of an understanding of the Shinra group Soldier and all the other members that are in, the Turks, Sephiroth, all the scientists, even Aerith is here. Now while this whole remaster and remaking of our favorite games is nothing new, what makes this one special is that while Square is trying to reboot their FF7 series, this one is actually going to be canon with that title. So it actually flows right into it and plays as a perfect prequel to that game, really filling in any of the potential plot holes and things that would have been missing if they just would have skipped this altogether. Now while I didn't play the PSP original, I am a fan of this series, so I did go back and watch all the cutscenes years ago. So I did really want to play this game when they announced it, but honestly this reunion just felt a little bittersweet. It kind of almost showed all the blemishes from the original title, while not really fixing or expanding on some of the things that they could have really done from that one. Now here are some examples. Now when it comes to combat, there's really only a 3-hit combo that you have that you're going to usually be spamming unless you really try to level up and mix your magic. So if you're just going through the main campaign and don't do any of the side content, you're going to be really limited on the amount of abilities that you can do, which is also going to hinder your ability to level up. And the other thing is that leveling up is completely different in this game than other titles. If you see in the corner, you have the whole little slot pachinko system that really affects a lot of the things that you can do, which I felt that if they would have just gave some of those powers or abilities for you to use and could have added a little bit more strategy to these combat scenarios instead of just fighting and spamming away, because eventually when you get some of these levels, you can just blast away on some of these enemies because they have certain weaknesses that just take down their health bars. And while it might be hard to find some of these abilities just doing the main campaign, I never found it really necessary to go the side missions to really level up, because all the basic enemies are really easy to take down, and the only ones I found that were a challenge were the bosses. But I will say Chapter 5 almost took me down, I just stopped playing altogether. Now that could have been that I wasn't really paying attention to some of the mechanics, or I just really wasn't being grabbed by the story. And it wasn't because of the writing. I think the writing is okay. It's more the performance of the characters and their delivery in them. So there's been an entire recasting of all the voice acting, and it really hits with the main character, because honestly I could not stand Zack. If you thought my voice was annoying, you won't catch me saying half the things that this man has said out loud. Now I can't tell if it's from a mistranslation or it could be from the performance of the voice actor. I'm not saying that he did a bad job, but there must be a poor translation with the writing, because there's so many things that fall flat or just honestly don't make sense in just how people don't talk like this. And good voice acting does go a long way, because I have seen these cutscenes before with its original voice actors, and I think it kind of is tolerable. It's not the best, but it's definitely way better than this one. And I'm not saying with the supporting cast. Everyone has their A game here. It's mainly Zack. Now, I will applaud them on their quality of life options because they're so unnoticeable that they just feel like they were original parts of the game. Like adding shortcuts so you could use your magic powers and abilities really make the experience in combat far more easier. And you have the ability to move the camera so you can finally see the entire battlefield full 360. And while the quality is mixed with the cutscene, they're all fully upgraded, and seeing them in their HD glory is a sight to behold. And now to answer the question, should you play? And I think you should probably skip this title if you haven't played it already. And while I know fans of the original are really happy that they brought this one back, I think Square should have gave this the remake treatment instead, because the gravity of the story just doesn't hold like it used to. I even thought Tommy Wiseau wrote at least 7 lines of dialogue out of 10.
Oh, stop it. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Zach.
What the hell did you do, Angel?
My mother could not continue to live, and neither can her son.
What are you talking about? What's going on here? What is it you're after?
World domination.
That's not even funny, man.
Thank you for clicking the video. It's your boy Skater V, and please comment down below. Did you beat this game? Did you enjoy yourselves? And hey, I waited 15 years to try this out, and while I'm telling everyone, it's not that worth it, I still had a bit of fun and everything. At least I was able to scratch it off my bucket list, but hey, I post every Monday and Friday. Until then, I'll catch you to the next one. Peace!